Today we're going to be picking up with the adventures of John Kent Superman, issues 1 and 2. So let me catch you up real quick. John Kent is the son of Superman from the main universe. A long time ago, he was sent off on an adventure with his grandfather, Jor-El. That event aged him up. The 5 years that he was missing, he was stuck in a volcano being ruled over by Ultraman and basically being turned into a slave. He then came back 5 years older at the age of 16. He officially took over as Superman when Clark Kent left the planet for about a year. But now that Superman is back, we have both Kal-El and John Kent both using the name of Superman. Regardless of that, I'm generally going to be calling him John Kent in today's video because I don't want to confuse you with the fact that there are two people calling themselves Superman. This is coming out of the Lazarus Planet event, and it's also coming out of John Kent's storylines, and it's going to involve some individuals and references that if you've been following the multiverse, you're going to love. And truly, I loved what they did with this storyline. Also, we're going to be referencing the Earth 2 superheroes in this one, and I'll link you that video down below. It's one of the oldest on this channel. Anyway, this is Comicstorian. I take comic books, I turn them into audio dramas, and then we read them back to you so you know what's going on in the world of comic books and can start your collection today by going to your local comic book store or heading to your digital retailer. We make 2 types of videos: complete stories, which is what this is, which features 2 to 3 issues and features what I said in the title. Full stories are the combination of all of those videos, but today we don't have that many issues to work with as only issues 1 and 2 are even out. Now let's get into John Kent Superman issues 1 and 2. Somewhere across the multiverse, Superman hears a voice calling out to him, asking if he'll be running. Superman says that he will not be running, and the voice tells him, "Of course not. They never run." Seconds later, Ultraman comes crashing down upon this Superman, and as the smoke clears, Ultraman grabs Superman by the neck, telling him, "Say it! Say your last words!" Superman struggles at first, but manages to say, "Lois!" And Ultraman laughs. "There it is. It's always the same. Now burn!" Ultraman's heat vision engulfs Superman and turns him to ash. Ultraman turns, walking through a portal, telling him, "That's done. On to the next one." Meanwhile, over at Earth 0, Jonathan Kent walks around Metropolis. This is weird. I can walk through the city and not have eyes stare at me. No phones pointing my way, not having to block out the words being whispered about my identity. As much as I hate what Lex Luthor has done, this is amazing. This is about as free as I can get. Jay shifts in his coat and scarf, telling him that he's very happy for him. It must be nice to have a proper secret identity, whereas his identity is the guy who wears hats in a lot of layers. But he's glad that John can get some privacy, and that he can live with everyone knowing that Jay Nakamura is Superman's boyfriend. Just then, Jay looks up, telling him, "Would you look at that? A shooting star. Maybe you can wish for my secret identity back." As John looks at it, he tells Jay, "That's not a shooting star." John begins to change, and Jay tells him it's fine, no one's around. This is clearly a job for Superman. John quickly flies up, reaching out to Oracle, telling her to call in the Titans. It seems the sky is falling. Oracle says that she just got the reports from Lord Industries. Their entire near-Earth communication system has been hacked. What they are seeing is over 1,000 satellites falling out of the sky. John looks around. I can see them everywhere, all across the planet. I'd say we have about 5 minutes until they all crash land, Oracle. The Titans help where they can, but John races around, taking out a majority of the falling satellites. And suddenly, he begins to feel something. It's like the world has stopped. And there's a change inside of him. He has felt this building up before, during the Lazarus Planet event. This power. But just like that, it's gone. Oracle tells him that the satellites over Asia are disappearing, and it looks like something is taking them out and vaporizing them before they can reach the ground. It's moving too fast for her to see. So John takes out more satellites on his way towards Asia. And when he gets there, he suddenly stops when he sees what is waiting for him. Another Superman. The new Superman floats down to the ground. "Hey, we knew that you'd have it, but I was already here, so..." This Superman dusts his hands off, telling him, "John, it's good to finally meet you. I'm Superman, but my name is Val-Zod." John holds out his hand. "Zod?" Val tells him, "Yeah, of course. That might be problematic for you, but perhaps before too many people gather, we should take this to the sky." Moments later, after flying over the planet, Val tells him that he appreciates him talking instead of jumping to conclusions. John says that he really isn't the lashing out without provocation type of person, plus he helped save 2 continents. Val laughs. Yeah, well, this might sound strange, but I'm from a different universe. However, there is someone here on this planet that can back me up on what I'm about to say, and they'll be meeting me shortly. So moments later, everyone flies to John's home. Val-Zod flies down, giving Mr. Terrific a hug, and Terrific says, "Welcome to Earth, Val-Zod. Any idea what happened to the satellites?" "I suspect corporate sabotage. Do you have a Luthor here?" John says that Luthor is in jail at the moment, and Lois says that that wouldn't stop Luthor. While she may be used to taking strange things in stride, anyone care to explain what is even going on? Val looks at Mr. Terrific, and he says that this is Val-Zod and Red Tornado from Earth 2. They are friends that he met on another Earth when he visited them. Lois then offers everyone to come inside if they have a story to tell. So Val quickly begins to lay it out. The Supermen of the multiverse are in danger. Kal-Els across the multiverse are being murdered by a twisted Kryptonian named Ultraman. John's face turns to anger. "Yeah, I know that name. Ultraman trapped me in a volcano a very long time ago. Took years away from my life. Years that I should have spent with my parents." Lois asks what does Val-Zod and Red Tornado want with John, and Red Tornado explains that they want him to come with them. Possible that with his help, they may be able to actually stop Ultraman. Lois yells at her. "Are you saying the man that tortured my son? You want him to help you with what?" Red Tornado explains that Ultraman has a device that is specifically tuned to Kal-Els. It weakens them to a cellular level, and he will come and he will kill her husband, and the grief of that will almost destroy her. Trust them on that. Val then says that once the Kal-Els fall, it's not long after that the world falls. Red Tornado says that they have experienced it. They lost her Earth and more. She wasn't always this. She lost her life. She lost her Kal-El. She lost Clark. Lois stares for a moment and wonders, "Who are you?" And Red Tornado explains that at one point, her name was Lois Lane, and they need John's help. 1,000 champions on 1,000 Earths are in danger. 1,000 Clark Kents, including her own, will die. Knowing what Ultraman has done to them, they wouldn't have come if it wasn't so important. So please, John, step into the multiverse and face your monster. Later at the Fortress of Solitude, Jay says that this sucks, and Lois says that it does suck. It's the hardest part of all of this, letting them go and realizing that they aren't just theirs. Jay asks if she has any advice, and Lois tells him that when Clark is away, she has her own crusades that she leads, usually overworks herself to the point of burnout. Jay laughs. That sounds healthy. She says she does have one bit of advice, though. Make John promise that he'll come back, because Superman never breaks a promise. Seconds later, John returns to the others, telling them, "All right, I have it, but what is Red Tornado doing?" Val says that she is currently searching the multiverse for Ultraman. Some of Mr. Terrific's quantum tech is installed in her, and she's now attuned to the multiverse, which helps them find where Ultraman is. Val looks at John, asking what he's holding. He explains that it's the Phantom Zone projector. He had to snap a lock made from a neutron star to get it. Dad is not going to be happy. Red Tornado says that Ultraman just jumped. Another Clark is dead. They have to go now. So John says his goodbyes to his mother, who gives him a small crystal stating that if he ever needs it, just listen to the message on it, and gives her a hug. Jay then says that he's going to fight the guy who tortured him and imprisoned him. You superheroes are so messed up. Be sure to bring back the weirdest postcard you can find. Red Tornado says that it's time to go, and Jay pulls John back, making him promise to come back home. John tells him that he promises. The three step into the portal, and they begin to search. And John asks, why did they come for him? Wasn't there any other John that they could have gone to? Val tells him because time is the same no matter which multiverse they're in. In most universes, the John Kents are still 11 years old. Now, there is another John his age, but his universe is infested with the undead, and he seems a little busy. But at that moment, as he's trying to explain the deceased universe, Red Tornado sees Ultraman and declares that he's coming. Before she could finish, Ultraman rockets through, ripping Red Tornado apart, sending her pieces falling back to the Earth. Val hurries to try and catch what he can of her, but as John looks back to where Ultraman went, he flies through, delivering another punch that sends him to the ground, dropping the projector. He flies down and looks at it. What do we have here? Across from him, Val picks up the torso of Red Tornado. He asks how she is, and she tells him not to worry, deal with Ultraman. But from the smoke, Ultraman stands with the projector asking, "You're going to deal with me? I warned you what would happen if you kept showing up." John begins to crawl out of the crater that Ultraman launched him into, and as he does, he sees Ultraman powering up the projector, aiming it directly at Val-Zod and Red Tornado. He tries to jump in to save them, but the projector hits them, with Val-Zod's last words being, "Don't let him win, John." The two fade away, and Ultraman pauses for a moment. "John? Are you my John?" John turns back with rage. "I was never your John!" He hits Ultraman with his heat vision, and as that fades, Ultraman laughs. "Wow, banishing your robot mom to limbo really ticked you off, huh? But you won't be using the projector to save them." He rushes forward unscathed by the attack, grabbing John by the throat. "You're still holding back, because you have the same weakness as your father. Compassion!" He releases a flurry of attacks, telling him, "You will never be able to defeat me if you're not prepared to kill." John tells him that he's wrong. And at that moment, John feels a power growing in him. The power from before, like lightning on his fingertips, rage building up inside, taking a hold. It's something that he's been holding back, but this time he doesn't. He lets it out. He unleashes that rage and strength into a single punch that could stop even Superman, launching Ultraman downward. He follows up with another hit, propelling him further. I can't think of anything weaker than only caring about yourself, practically invulnerable, but you're still ruled by fear. Only that power, and absolutely no strength. But just before he can finish Ultraman, he feels the power fading. Whatever it was, it is leaving him, like he used up every reserve that he had. He nearly passes out, and Ultraman groans, getting up. "That was the hardest anyone's ever hit me. And I've pissed off a lot of powerful people. I'm not sure what that power is, but it's taken a lot out of you, huh? You weren't ready. You didn't know how to deal with it, and now you won't even get a chance to learn. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to throw you back in that volcano and keep you to play with. Normally, I wouldn't even bother with the Loises, but for you, I'm going to make an exception. I'm going to make sure that your Lois suffers." But at that moment, there's a rush of wind and a voice telling him, "No, you won't." Before Ultraman could react, his neck is snapped by Superman. Ultraman's lifeless body falls to the ground, and John looks up. You killed him!" But this Superman looks back and stares at John. "Great Rao, you have your mother's eyes." That is the ending of issue 2, which just came out at the time of me making this video. If you're wondering who that new Superman is, if you didn't recognize the uniform, that is in fact the return of Injustice Superman. He is back in play, and what does this mean for the future? I don't know. If you want us to cover the next video, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you want to just read it yourself, go check it out, because it's at your local comic book store or your digital retailer. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. We really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time right here at Comicstorian.